Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. My name is Nadine. We have a great and wonderful show for you tonight. We are meeting with Miss Jackie Roby, and she does a lot of things. But before I ever get started, you guys know this about me. I have to ask Jackie a question. How many weddings have you been to in the last 10 years?
Mm. Well, Nadine, I have been to 4 weddings, including my own, in the
Oh,
last 10
well,
years.
yeah, you're always at your wedding. Okay, well, congratulations. So four. And usually when you go to these weddings, whether it's a ceremony, sometimes they put it in the reception. What do you sign?
So you're signing a guest book,
Yes,
typically.
definitely.
Yes.
Now, life on record, and I always say .com at the end, so I can get that in there. They're a little bit different. So what they do, it's a vintage rotary phone, and they are so cute. They put it there for the guests to pick up and leave a message for the happy couple. It can be a 1 minute, 5 minute, or even 30-minute message if they want it to. Congratulations on your wedding. You guys make a beautiful couple. We wish you the best in your life and moving forward and have kids, whatever they want to say, right? But they also put the QR code right next to it. So people can take out their cell phones, scan the QR code, and they can use their own cell phones to leave a message too. So they can do it during or after whatever is convenient for them. So life on record, they collect all these messages and they'll burn it on a 12-inch vinyl record, or they have this cute little boom box. They burn it and store it in there. So I guess, maybe it's a year from now and you're having your anniversary. You want to listen to all those messages again. And that's what it's there for, is just hearing people's voices again and remembering that special day. Their packages only start at $99 and you get that phone number for 1 year. So visit www.lifeonrecord.com. All right. Your mouth is open, like, yeah.
Yes, I'm obsessed. Like, I had to stop myself from interrupting because, wow, that is extraordinary. And honestly, I almost came to tears thinking about how beautiful that would be and how much I would love to hear that.
Well, you know what? I think there's many other events, if you have a 50th, a milestone, let's just say a milestone, birthdays, or even a corporate event, I can think of ways to use it. There was an accident at the football field and the kid broke his leg and got rushed out with the ambulance and everything. But the kids called in and said, I hope you get better. And so we got those voice recordings of the kids wishing him well. So I know it life on record, it's a cool idea for a guest book, but it's so much more. So you got to be creative with that. Or, even here's an idea. It's the new year. You rent them out, right? You have your employees. What is it that you want to see for 2024? And what kind of bonus do you want? I can imagine all the calls. It'd be like, I need $1 million. I got to get a pool, but and these are my wishes, and just like that would be fun. You can make it into a game too to
I
hear who
love
worked
it.
for you. There's different things, different options. But yeah, definitely. So I was reading like over everything you do, and I'm going to sum it up basically. You do some mindset coaching, speaking, and workshops, and you teach self-love so people can actually live in a better world, I think, as you put it. And I that's amazing. That really is. So you have a book out too, correct?
Yes. Yes. So I'm part of a collaborative book called The Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul Aligned Business.
Yay. Okay. Well, we're going to dive in. Tell us about like how you got started in this and everything.
So I actually launched my business in October 2019, and I came from the travel industry. And my
Great.
intent was to go and support the wellness travel niche.
Okay.
And then the world stopped. And that for me became an opportunity to show up every day, keep keep doing things, working in that space. But really, I had the chance to listen to my intuition.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
exactly. And realize that's not what I want to do anymore. I mean, I love that space. I love that industry, but I was doing sales and marketing for most of my career.
Yeah.
And that can serve me in my own business and representation, but not necessarily what I wanted to do for others anymore. So
Yeah.
I spent time tapping into my brilliance and figuring out what served me in my journey and what could serve others or support others in theirs. So it's always been the intent of mine to really help people on their emotional healing journeys. And it led me to becoming a mindset coach.
That is so cool. I'm happy you're on our show because that's hope right there and what you're doing. So that's amazing. Oh my gosh, helping with and finding yourself. It is when you get that calling. I mean, I'm in sales and marketing. I love my job because it's in the event industry and I know a lot of people still in the circle of networking and everything. So it makes me feel good. So if somebody's like, how long have you been there? And I was like 3 months and I had to tell this newbie, but I've been in the industry for almost 25 years. So it's nothing new to me. I mean, the world turns, right? All this new technology. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I go, we got AI marketing coming up. So I want to train myself on that too. So it's like a whole different level, but you got to find what's happy in your heart. And it sounds like you did. But travel industry, yes, I loved it. I did a little bit, but I didn't think that was my calling either. I learned more about me and more about me as I'm growing up and everything, and just said, no, this is where I need to be the rest of my life. I want to be happy and move forward and help a company grow. And then I knew I always wanted to do a podcast, and here I am. So those were my goals, and I've accomplished it in photography. I will always be a photographer. So
I love that. I love how you found your areas of joy and how also you were able to look within yourself and go, this is cool, but it's not for me.
yeah, definitely.
And that's not always easy to do. So many people get into something and then they just stay.
It's like, oh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm dog sitting and this
Oh,
just cute little blind dog and just kind of
you know what?
ran into something.
Well, I was doing another podcast and I was at my ex's house and he has a dog with one eye and the other eye, he's going blind, but he kept walking in circles. And I just picked him up and said, I have a dog with me on this show. So if you want to pick up your doggy, you can.
It might end up that way. We'll see if she comes back.
Okay. No, dogs are welcome, cats are welcome, hamsters and pet rocks. So
Love it.
So, but definitely, but finding, yeah, going back to like finding what's in your heart to follow through, that can be challenging for some people because, I hear people say, no, I wanted to go the corporate world and I'm doing insurance or I'm doing healthcare, but there's no energy behind that. It's not, it just seems like words when I hear somebody say that. I want to hear, I'm in the event industry. I get to party all the time and work with other party planners and plan these wonderful events. And that is my job. And I love it. I sold it. I'm kidding. So,
No,
but
you're so right. And even if you've got somebody who's working in an industry that they're like, oh, I'm not really passionate about it, you can find something within that that still helps you to
yeah,
be passionate while you're there and also ignite the fire outside. Like you talked about your photography, right? Like
yeah,
whether or not you're incorporating that into your event business, doesn't matter because it's bringing you joy.
yes.
So we have to keep that fire of inspiration lit.
Yeah, definitely. So what is other opinions? How else can they keep it lit? You're on a roll right now. I just want to hear how else, if the listeners listening, what other things can they do? Can they like do an online course and learn more to make them advance? Like, what do you suggest?
Yeah, 100%. So there's so many different classes out there. You know, you can look on the sites like Udemy, Teachable, Thinkific, find courses. I myself have some courses that you can look at
Yeah.
for self-love and setting boundaries and
Oh, yeah.
stress reduction. I had mentioned this just a hot second ago, but I'm dog sitting right now. Now
Yeah.
I'm happily married. I love being with my husband. I have a great business, but you know what I also really love is being with dogs. And ours passed years ago. I'm not really looking to get any more. So I love having a change of space and I
Yeah.
love being with them. So I do this to help bring me that extra kind of boost of joy.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
all sorts of ways that we can expand
Yeah.
to support our happiness.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I'm just happy right now. I have a dog and she knows I hurt every night. But it's so funny. I have a queen bed and there's so much room on the other side, but she'll walk right and put her head on my leg. She's like my weighted blanket. Just and I was like,
Yeah.
it feels good, but when I want to turn over, I'm like kicking her out of the way, like go to the other side. So, but yeah, having pets always bring joy. So definitely, and they're so in tune with us. You know, they will pick up on our daily routines and tasks. I just hate it like when my son goes back to school and then it's summer because my dogs still think, hey, I get a snack at 5:30 a.m. Wake up. I'm like, but it's not time. Like I just wish I could like set a program on them or something and say, no, you can get this at this time. But definitely continue going on. I want to hear more about what got you to write a book and what you actually do. So you just throw it at me.
Yeah. So all right, well, I'll get a little heavy with you.
Okay.
But it's real. And that's one of the things that I find to be the most important piece of knowing yourself and becoming you is recognizing your truth, even
Yes.
if it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
So I have a long, consistent history of being abused. And because of that, I've had these moments where it's like throughout my healing journey, some of this has to mean something.
Mhm.
It has to mean something more. And part of it was being silenced for a very long time. And when my first abuser, who was my grandfather, died, I told my sister, mark my words, I'm going to share this story on stage one day. I'm going to help other people
Yeah.
who've been silenced.
Yeah.
And within a week, an opportunity came in my inbox to speak on just that. And I did. And I told that story for the first time on a stage.
How did
And
that
I,
go? Did you have a
oh,
box of tissues? My goodness. You're gonna make me cry. I'm just
yeah,
like,
I will tell you that it was definitely emotional for the audience. Luckily, I did a lot of rehearsing. I had to do a lot of crying first,
yeah,
especially even as I was writing it. But it just showed the power of vulnerability
yeah,
and what it means for other people to be seen, heard, and understood. And just being seen and understood in those moments when the messages that I would receive from people I've known for years, from people I don't know,
hmm.
just saying, same here. And
That's
thank
I
you.
got chills just hearing this. I'm just like, I know somebody close that had to go through all this. So I know how hard it is to talk about it. And I know what it does. And you know, it bottle it up for so long because you can't tell anybody, you know, but you got to. And it's just hopefully it took pain a little bit and worryment away from you. I hope so.
Absolutely. It absolutely does.
Mhm.
1 in 4 women have been abused, 1 in 6 men. So looking at a gender binary research. Um, so it's incredibly common.
Mhm.
So once this story for me was told, it started me off on speaking. And what ironically happened is that speaking started before coaching, and then it came together.
Wow.
And I said,
Okay,
okay, I'll
that's
do this
good.
too.
Yep, definitely. So you delivering these messages, gives other people encouragement too. Like if you're still holding on to a secret, like what can you tell them? I mean, it's bottled up, it's hurting them. I mean, they could be watching this show right now. I understand there's a huge fear and you can't do it. I wish there was a way to help people like feel safe and tell somebody right away and get that help and get away from that person. Um, we need to invent something. I'll give you till
Absolutely.
tomorrow morning. No, I'm kidding. Like, so, yeah, so I guess, I mean, I hate to ask, but how many years? It seems, was it a lot of years you had to go through that?
Yes, 4 years
Wow.
in that particular experience, but that wasn't the only abuse, and unfortunately, I have been through sexual, mental, emotional, financial, verbal, and physical abuse throughout the years. And from family members, from a romantic partner,
Hmm.
from and also experience those kind of things at work in the in my professional life. So even as you heal from one, it is amazing how it shows up in different spaces. Now,
Oh,
I've been on my healing journey actively for 21 years. So, including 15 consecutive years in therapy. And you still end up seeing, like, oh God, how did I let this happen in this area of my life?
oh yeah.
And it's all these lingering after effects. So, I think, like, if you say, what can you tell people? I think first and foremost, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Second, you have nothing to be ashamed of.
Hmm.
And third, I believe you. And that's probably one of the hardest things is, you are scared to say anything. You're not supposed to say anything. But then when you do, it's like you're experiencing gaslighting from people who are supposed to protect you or care for you the most.
Yeah,
And they have
definitely.
all this doubt because it's just uncomfortable for them. And it's so painful.
Yeah.
And even with all the healing you can do, like, first of all, therapy, yay, ask for help. Even after all of that, you can still have this lingering self doubt because of all of those naysayers on top of it. Just makes you doubt yourself, not just in that space, but in all other areas. And you're just worthy of so much more.
Yeah, I know it's hard. And especially you mentioned jobs and I call them triggers.
Mhm.
Something can trigger emotion or somebody says something and it just gives you flashbacks. PTSD too, it sounds like. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad, there is counseling for people who are victims of abuse. And I believe it's free. I think I read that before. But it's always good to have a counselor and be able to talk, also have a circle of friends that you trust
Mhm.
and be open to talk to about this. And it's okay to cry all the time. It's every day if you need to. I mean, I know I just had my friend, she passed away. It's not the same as what
Mhm.
you're going through, but went through all the stages, but it was like 5 months later, I just like, God, why did you? have to take her. And, and I never understood it. Like we talked every day, whether it was about health, job, kids, relationships. She was my go-to person. And she was my biggest cheerleader. Like, you're going to do so much in life, but you got to stop drinking Fireball. I'm like, okay. That was only like once or twice out of the week. It's not a big deal because I like to sing. But, it's like I still hear her. And I know she would be proud of me right now. But I'm proud of you being able to share this story with a lot of people who need to hear this and being heard. That was something I did a podcast on. It's called Being Heard, because there's just times I'm not heard from family or work situations. And it's like, why am I here then? I have the knowledge of relationships and communication and listening. I can talk to people. I'm a nice person, go to, but I think it's all about energy. Have you noticed
Yeah,
that too?
absolutely.
You have to have that positive energy to make things work, because if there's any negativity, it destroys what the good is doing, basically. So to grow and to be successful in life with the job or family, you need that. And relationships, it's even harder. So I was talking to other people on my podcast. It sounds like the relationships. I knew my friend, she held on to the same guy for over 8 years. So, it's just, I don't know if that's like togetherness or doesn't want to go through anything else and have to explain their story and stuff like that, which I don't think it is that, but it's a different way of how they think, process the emotion. And like the other lady said, it never goes away. And I hate that. I hate that. So, and I know you're gonna cry having this talk. Oh my gosh, I don't want to make you cry. Well, let's talk about happier things and how you overcame some of this, and it's led you into the right path.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, I just want to tell you my heart is with you, with your friend, Floss.
Thank you.
And I just want to breathe for that. Um, you mentioned something really important because you talked about negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
And we are really prone to thinking negatively.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's actually one of the things that I do with my clients is I help teach them ways to retrain their brain.
Yay. Good.
Yes.
We need you.
Towards happiness and calm and clarity, and
Yeah.
away from all the mean things we say to ourselves.
Like, yeah, well, definitely ourselves. And then it doesn't help if somebody else, like if you're getting picked on, then if you're getting picked on, it's like you feel like you're walking on eggshells.
100%. It's the
So,
worst feeling.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's the worst feeling. But the stronger those neural pathways are, the easier it is to even overcome what's happening on the outside
Mm-hmm.
and create change that's positive for you. Because we
Gotcha.
can get really stuck in those
Oh,
areas.
yeah. Yeah, you can. And then you feel trapped too. So, but definitely, do you tell people meditation helps them?
So yes and no. I love meditation. It's something I practice daily, but I recognize that it doesn't always feel accessible, especially when your mind won't stop racing. So instead, we work through mindfulness. And one of the tools that I use, one of the things that I've studied is positive intelligence. And so it is using mindfulness techniques to retrain your brain. And it kind of breaks it apart so that you can do it anywhere and everywhere.
Oh,
So
okay.
if let's say you're driving and you're stuck in traffic, right? you're not going to be able to close your eyes and meditate.
And yeah, don't close your eyes while driving.
Right.
That's no
Right.
good.
But what you can do is you can have your hands on the steering wheel and you can take 3 deep breaths in and
Mhm.
out and just notice your breath. You can feel your hands on the wheel. You can feel the temperature. You can feel the texture under your fingertips. You can feel your seat, the weight of your body on your seat.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I'm driving, you can kind of feel the vibration, right, on your
Yeah.
body a little bit. So when you do that, it helps to create presence. That's the mindfulness practice. It brings you back into your body. It helps you to be present. And that is actually those little moments, those little actions, 10 seconds at a time, are what
Mhm.
helps to build new neural pathways. So
Okay.
that's what helps with calm.
Huh. I didn't know that. Huh. I keep picturing me in my car and I have the seat warmer on, but then I'll like, okay, my back is hurting today. Have it go in, out.
Mm.
I don't want to be lifted down, but it's just, I also music I notice would help de-stress me. Now, the funny thing is, I can't believe I'm saying this or admitting it. Somebody I dated for a while, he was into classical music. And I'm like, oh, turn this off. I mean, I'm like Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra. Like, I like those, the 80s, the 90s. But, I was so stressed one day and I was driving that I turned on that classical music and felt this calm relaxation. And
Mm.
I like this feeling. Okay. Do I want to admit it to anybody? I was like, not really, but I'm here doing it to the world right now. So, my judgment on classical music is no, it helped my soul. So, and those are one of the things that I want to listen to. And even falling asleep, I'll listen to the relaxation music.
Mhm.
I do fall asleep to audible books. So if somebody's reading to me, I guess it's back when I was younger, and if I had my mom reading to me or something, I would always fall asleep. So I think that is the concept too. But it ends
I
too
love that.
quick, and I'm like, oh, where's the music? I have to wake up to do this now. But
So let
there's
me ask you, in your normal day in the car, what are you jamming out to?
Christmas music this time. So and I will go to karaoke. Like I'm gonna go tonight and sing Christmas songs, but I'm like, I wanna hit the hippopotamus for Christmas. That
Right.
energy inside of me needs to come out because all the stress that I go through in a week's time and just taking care of things. And I know I'm really busy on the weekend. I'm just like, my little me time is now going to be on a Friday night to where I can let that energy out and go, I did something for me. It's helping me, and meeting new people. I'm a free spirit. I love that. I just don't want to be glued down to, one thing right now because I'm enjoying freedom is what I've learned about myself. But I've been learning patience and more self-love this year too. So
I love that. Well, singing and dancing are great ways to bring joy into your life. And
yes.
what I would say is on one of those days where you're like, I'm trying, but maybe it's not doing it, or just for like the first part of the song, listen to one beat. Maybe it's a certain instrument that
Yeah.
you hear, or you're noticing the tone of the singer. It's a little different that you didn't notice before. Just zero in on one part
Yeah.
and use that sense. So it's reconnecting with your senses. So use that sense for just
Gotcha.
10 seconds.
And just think about what they did, that different tone, I guess. If they're playing the
Yeah.
guitar or something,
Yeah.
just
Just notice it. Don't dwell on it. Don't kind of,
yeah.
your mind wanders naturally anyway, but just notice it. Like sometimes one thing that my husband can do, he has the skill set, is he can pick out the different instruments in
That's cool.
a song and he'll naturally focus on that. Now,
Okay, that's cool.
yeah, so if you can do that, or even sometimes you're like, oh, look, there's the
Yeah.
piano at the beginning, or this one's a little bit different or higher, whatever that is, just
Yeah.
pick that one thing and just spend a little time noticing that.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I got to do that. I'm going to listen to the singers. And I know last week, I'm very, what's the word, as a photographer, I like to observe a lot into detail. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing in my life, but I was around different singers last week, but the songs I never heard. And I was like, well, I have nowhere to write this down. So I make a video of myself. This song is called this. Look it up, it's just, but it had a different beat. And then, when people are just having fun and releasing that energy, and it's great to be around that. So instead of, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of the news. I don't want to watch the news. If something bad happens, I feel like somebody will tell me. So I try to stay away from anything negative that would put me in a bad spot or bring me down. So,
Yep.
but yeah, so I want to know more. Tell me about your book venture, like the
Yeah. So,
process of doing this. How long did it take you to write it? And what would your readers get from it?
so I was actually invited into this book collaboration. So there are 25 empowered
Cool.
women who have businesses that are soul aligned. And we each wrote a chapter to guide, to tell our story a bit, and to inspire.
Wow, that is cool.
Yeah. So I am very grateful for being brought into that, for being considered for it. I met some amazing women in there, and I find it incredibly inspiring. And as you go through, there are different lessons from everyone. And so you can try different things. You can grow. It doesn't even matter if you want to change a business. It really is just for you.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite parts about it.
Yeah.
Um, is the growth from there. I will tell you right now, I'm in the process of writing my own book.
Yay.
That will be solely me, and that venture is much different because it is a independent thing. But stay
So
tuned for what's
you have
coming
the
next.
mindset. I've always wanted to write a book, but I'm like, I've never been diagnosed ADHD or AD. I still go, oh my gosh, no, I got to do this and this and this. And, at night, I can't sleep at night because I just feel like I could create 5 new businesses, write out their plans and take on other projects. And I don't want that. And I tell my doctor, help me get to sleep. My brain goes, I just want sleep. Because it'd be like, okay, I fell asleep at 4, my alarm goes off at 6. Then what? I'm like dragging. So yeah.
Oh, we need you to sleep more.
Don't worry. The doctors gave me a medicine that makes me sleep. So I'm getting some sleep. But definitely. So starting this book, have you set goals for yourself of when it's going to get done? Did you dedicate time?
So I don't have a deadline for it, but what I do is I have time in my calendar every morning and I spend 30 minutes a day writing.
Okay.
And so I just know that I'm going to sit down at the same time every day and write for 30 minutes. And I'm doing it in a way that is so different than I would do anything else because
Yeah.
I'm really free writing. I know, like, I have my outline, and I'm kind of separating in chapters, but I'm not going back and rereading. I'm not proofing. I'm not, you
Yeah.
know, running circles around my head because I know it's not going to serve me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So right
Exactly.
now it's this freestyle of just like stay creative and
Yeah.
keep writing.
Definitely. I mean, when I started season 1 of this, it wasn't video. I had a couple of my sponsors say they want a video. Here I am. But I was listening to the everyday problems. Like I can hear people really good when they're talking. I don't. I don't want to say I'm eavesdropping, but I was like, the bar stories are very funny, like really funny. But even kids, how they're thinking at a young age, you know. And my son, he was 11. He goes, "Mom, I want to be on your podcast." I go, "What are you going to do? Are you going to interview me?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "No, I'm too scared of you interviewing me on a podcast." But I was like, you know, this has become a new way of also, and you have a podcast as well. What's the name of your podcast?
Oh, my podcast is called Through Inspired Eyes.
Oh, I love that. That is so awesome. I named my photography company Beyond Our Sight Photography.
Mm.
So, and now that I'm working at Party Time Texas, it's going under their umbrella too. So, it's awesome. It's amazing to expand on that and grow from that. And I love it. So I love having people dance on the dance floor. They're smiling, when people go, "Well, how many weddings have you been to?" And I was like, in my lifetime, a lot. I started at age 15, 16, getting into catering, and I was at everybody's wedding back in the day. But I took that hospitality route and worked my way up in different industries like florals, rentals, bridal consultant, the catering, as I mentioned, hotel concierge. It was like all intertwined, and it helped to get to where I am now, and it's like having that experience helps you and gives you that motive to continue and do everything. And just like your book and stuff and your podcast, Inspired Eyes. I mean, tell me more about your podcast. I'm like, what subjects do you talk on? Is it self-love and businesses and helping them? And
Good question. So I talk about your healing journey, really.
Mhm.
So we spend a lot of time talking about um, your mindset and ways to overcome things, how to care for your mental wellness, how to improve your self-love, how to release that self-doubt and go through shame. The last episode I did was called Forgive and Forget is Bad Advice.
True. Amen to
So
that.
yeah, so it gives different perspectives. When I
Yeah.
started it initially, it was different, but it was focused in the wellness travel space. But what's great about that is if you go back through the episodes, you'll find different ways to support your healing through travel, which is something I still incredibly believe in. And you learn about different modalities that are available. And that's the kind of thing I want people to open their eyes to
Mhm.
how to create change
Yeah,
so
that
that
would
they
be
can
good.
heal and grow.
Yeah, you will grow from all that change and stuff. I mean, I know when I take travel, I mean, I want to go to the beach always. I'm not like the mountain person or like cold weather, but just something about the beach, walking in the sand and just listening to the waves, come in. And then I remember I developed a fear. My son wanted a boogie board. And I'm like, "Well, you're going how far?" Because I am scared of jellyfish. And I go to Galveston because you can't see in the water. I'm just like, whatever, I have nothing bad has happened yet. But I developed this fear because I didn't want my son drifting away too far, And
Mm.
I think it's because as a child, I had all these dreams that I was in the beach, but it kept sucking me back and I couldn't get forward. And I was like, oh no. Then here I am as an adult watching the movie Open Water. I've seen it 10 times probably. And I was like, is this my dream of being stranded out in the ocean? I would never want to go through that. So, and watch, I'll have an ocean dream tonight. So, but definitely. So with the podcast, with the book and coaching, do you actually just do it online or people come to see you? How does that work?
So I do all of my coaching online.
Online.
I speak in person and virtual.
Okay. Nice.
And I do group coaching as well as private coaching.
Wow. So you're always busy, right? Yeah. That's what my son is saying. Mom, you got a lot of people that want to be on your podcast. I'm not seeing you that much. I go, do you want to come and be with me? You can do a show with me. And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just trying to get it to 2 a night, like, and then I go home. I'm trying to not do anything on the weekends and stuff because he has football and everything. And it's like, let's go and work on his dreams and his goals and everything.
Oh, I love that. And you need to set those boundaries for
Yeah.
yourself so that you're not burning out, so that you can sleep and do all of the things. And like you said, be there and be present for him with his dreams.
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be nice and calm and relaxing.
I love that.
So, all right. So do you have a website also?
Absolutely. So my website is the name of my business. It's inspiredjourneyconsulting.com.
Okay, good. And I'll put all of those links onto our Facebook at Keep Hope Alive podcast so people can get that. And it's also on YouTube. Wherever you find this video, you'll see her contacts also. So I feel like I'm missing something. Like there was so much in your bio. I just feel like I missed something. The Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul Aligned Business is the name of the book. And then went over all that. Boy, we just talked fast, didn't we? It was like, I'm showing my age now. What are we missing? But definitely. And I mean, where in the States do you live? Are you
Yeah, I'm in Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts? Is it Massachusetts area?
Yes.
Hence the boat. I love the water painting on your wall too. It's very pretty. So I'm a Jersey girl, but I've been in Texas for 30 years. Yeah, people still.
So it's home.
Huh?
So Texas is home.
I guess when it is said, well, I'm an Eagles fan. People don't like me.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah. So Cowboys and Eagles, they're big rivalries when they play. I did find one place that I could go to where they're all Eagles fans. And, they had the mascot head and I put that on and I'm just dancing and just having a good time. But it's like, who cares? I get to still be myself down here. Cowboys, I go team. And I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but that's how I am. Go team. So, but definitely, I want to thank you so much for coming on to our show and sharing your story. And I'm going to get that book up there. And when you get done your book, you let me know because I'm going to put that one up there right away too. So, and then, do you ever, I think, with your workshops, are you traveling around the United States?
Yeah, so I do travel to host workshops and I also do them virtually, but I love to be in person. So that's always such a fun thing for me.
Cool. So that's good to know. So you'll contact her. And I know if you have any questions on Keep Hope Alive, you can call us at 833-780-HOPE, which is 4673. And you can leave her a message and we'll hand it on over to you. So you can get those answered again. We'll find a way to get that. But I also wanted to say thank you for being on the show, but also thank our sponsors who help keep hope alive, the hope keep going. It's not all country. But of course, Life on Record, thank you so much for being our main sponsor. And you can find them on lifeonrecord.com. Then we have bridalshowsinc.com. And what they do in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you are planning a corporate event or even a wedding or a birthday, the vendors there, they all know celebration. Okay. So you're going to have like florists and photographers out there and caterers, and you go one of these shows, talk to them, get their flyers, their pricing, and get to meet them. So hopefully they can help you with that event. And then we have Party Time Texas, woohoo.com. So it's your one place to get all your vendors you need right away. So if it's a DJ, a band, a balloonist, airbrush person, bounce houses, wedding dress, bakers, photographers, photo booth, we have it all. If you need a look-alike, we got Austin Powers, we got Lucy, even Martha Stewart. I don't know how she goes out, but maybe. So check them out as well. And then our next one is Miles and Smiles, Miss Deborah Rose.com. She is awesome. She does handwriting analysis and lipstick readings. So, and she's accurate. She's very accurate in what she does. So like in the weddings, she'll go to, it's like put on the lipstick and you kiss the frame. So you know how people will put their picture in the middle, but it's lipstick readings, and she does something fun with that too. So very creative and full of ideas. Check her out. Our next one is Mr. Bryce Harney, who is a magician and mind mentalist, I think they call him, but he's traveling all across the United States. He's been on every TV station. So he's having fun doing magic. He loves his job. he gets to disappear, right? To all the different states. But you can find him at brycemagic.com. And then our last one is Mr. richmondpunch.net. He is a violinist, and he's been doing this for so many years. I don't even know how many. It's probably over 40. No offense, Richmond, but he was from Dallas. He moved to Atlanta. He travels back and forth, and he goes anywhere around the world. He graduated from the Juilliard, and then he's also been in like Lifetime shows playing, and then he's performed in front of 1 million people too, and it was a funeral. So he's excellent, very talented guy. So just wanted to say thank you to our sponsors, and thank you so much for coming on here. And I am so happy that we got to talk and share your story. I know the beginning part was really hard to talk about, but you are a fighter, you're a warrior, you're a trooper. Keep sharing your message, because that's what's going to help in the long run. Because there's going to be people out there who need to hear you. So definitely. Okay, come and visit us at www.keephopealivepodcast.com. We are everywhere where you can find a podcast. Imagine that. And then YouTube. Subscribe, get the latest information. I usually have the YouTube link already posted up the same day. So we hope to see you next time. And I want to follow up with you again, definitely, and see how you're doing with all your workshops. So happy holidays to you also. And everybody, thank you so much. Love and light. Bye.